Well, first of all, if you go back through time, there's always been a conversation about the debt ceiling, and it's around the time that the spending happens. And many of the reforms to spending that have helped control spending, that have gotten us to balanced budgets, have all been a part of a debt ceiling negotiation. President Biden himself, when he was a United States Senator, talked about that when he voted against one of the debt ceilings years ago. So you can go watch that tape. We'll get it to you. If not, PBS probably has it. So ultimately, if you look at what should be on the table, the debt ceiling today is maxed out because President Biden and Speaker Pelosi and Chuck Schumer went on a spending binge like the country has never seen, trillions of dollars over the last 2 years, and they didn't pay for it. They had the opportunity to pay for it when they were spending, and they didn't. They dumped it on this new Congress. And so we are going to deal with it responsibly. We want to make sure that as we're talking about the credit card of the nation being maxed out by Joe Biden, we also talk about how to get control over spending so that we can start living within our means, just like families have. Families have this conversation every month when they look at their credit card bill. They don't just ask for a new credit card and go max it out. They talk about how they can actually get control so they're not in this spot again. That's what we should be doing.
Good morning, friends. I cannot believe that this is happening. Congressional lawmakers are making huge progress on passing new relief bills. This legislation will help millions of Americans, especially low-income households. But many Republicans and economists are very worried about how this will affect the debt ceiling. So, dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video to hear about all of the new details. Also, this coming Friday, I will be announcing 2 winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter the weekly giveaways, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos, and then do comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, the greater your chances, friends, of winning the giveaways. Last year, Congress walked away from what looked like the most effective fixes for childhood poverty in a generation. So now state legislators are trying to walk it back. Lawmakers in at least 10 states are considering some new version of the expanded child tax credit. It is a federal program that lifted millions of children out of poverty, but then was abandoned by Congress. During 2021, parents received up to $300 monthly for each child, and it eased financial pressures on families while dramatically reducing child poverty. But reviving the program on the state level is divisive. As in Congress, lawmakers are split over how generous to make the payments and who should be eligible. Each state will make its own decision, and the politics are not straightforward. Advocates and politicians initially thought that giving all parents a cash benefit would be as popular as a program like Medicare or Social Security. But instead, it's been compared to welfare by many Republicans. State-level politicians who are proposing all kinds of tax cuts and rebates for their constituents this year have plenty of incentives to try where Congress had failed. The expanded child tax credit was fairly popular overall, and parents were especially excited about it. According to a Morning Consult poll, 59% of Americans supported bringing back the monthly payments of up to $300, including 75% of parents with children under the age of 18. Democratic Senator Mike Simmons joined advocates at a news conference to call for the creation of a state child tax credit. Then a group of Democratic lawmakers called for creating a state-level tax credit that would give low and middle-income families up to $700 per child each year in tax relief. But whether Governor J.B. Pritzker includes such a plan in his budget proposal and whether it receives the endorsement on top of Democratic leaders in the General Assembly still remains an open question. Ariane Malassi, the Director of Policy and Advocacy at the Economic Security for Illinois, pegged the plan's cost at somewhere between $700 million and $800 million annually. Senator Mike Simmons said passage of such a measure would benefit about half of all children in the state of Illinois. Illinois already offers an earned income tax credit, which is available to people who meet certain income guidelines even if they have no children. A child tax credit would be an additional payment to parents. Like the earned income tax credit, the child tax credit would be fully refundable, meaning if the amount of the credit exceeds the filer's total tax liability, the excess amount would be repaid to the taxpayer. The language of the proposal is contained in Senate Bill 1444. Under this legislation, individuals with incomes below $50,000 and married couples who file jointly, with incomes below $75,000 a year, will be eligible for a $700 per child tax credit. For tax filers with incomes above those limits, the amount of the credit would be reduced by $24 for each $1,000 of additional income. Simmons was joined at the news conference by other supporters of the idea, including Senator Robert Peters, who is also a Chicago Democrat, and whose district, he said, includes some of the wealthiest and some of the poorest zip codes in the state of Illinois. But the idea comes at a precarious time for Illinois, and it could face resistance due to its estimated annual price tag. Although the state has been running multi-billion-dollar surpluses in each of the last 2 years, the Governor's Office of Management and Budget has projected that the state finances could start running deficits as soon as fiscal year 2025. Meanwhile, Illinois Comptroller Susana Mendoza has cautioned lawmakers not to use the current surpluses to enact new, permanent programs. A tax credit would also help many Hawaii families, but only if they know about it. It's called the Earned Income Tax Credit. And if you make less than $59,000 a year, you may be eligible. The Hawaii Workers Center is concerned this crucial information may not reach all communities. This is why many lawmakers are trying to bring awareness to this credit, to ensure that everyone has a chance to receive additional financial aid. Well, my amazing and most beautiful friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. My friends, thank you for joining me here every day and for being part of this community. To say thank you, I will be announcing 2 winners this coming Friday for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter the weekly giveaways, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos, and then do comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My friends, the more videos that you comment on, the greater your chances of winning the weekly giveaways. Thank you, friends, and have a wonderful and very blessed Monday.